Hey guys, so this is the SimGot ET142, a pair of hybrid in-ear monitors that pack a single planar magnetic driver paired with a single piezoelectric driver. Now these are not cheap. They come in around $220 or around 20,000 rupees. But you know, SimGot always manages to somehow justify the price tag with the sheer quality of the sound and the quality of these in-ear monitors themselves. They are exquisite, but it's not all perfect. There are some minor cons as well. So let's get into this and let me explain why I think the SimGot ET142 could be your next in-ear monitor if you are a seasoned audiophile. The ET142 comes in a rather slick yet premium packaging, and inside the box we get some paperwork, different pairs of silicone ear tips of various sizes. Now these have narrow bore, medium bore and wide bore ear tips, as you can see. You get the extra tuning nozzles that come with the ET142. Now each of these pairs have a distinct sound signature, which I will explain in detail later. You get a few extra pairs of these silicone rings corresponding to the sound tube or the tuning nozzle that you're going to be using. Now these are also supposed to come with some extra foam inserts for these tuning nozzles to fine-tune the sound, but unfortunately I didn't get any. Instead, I got an extra pair of the golden tuning nozzles. So yeah, that's kind of funny. You get the extremely high quality LC7 oxygen-free copper silver plated cable. Now these in itself will cost you $70 if you buy them separately. So yeah, super premium, excellent build quality. Now these have 2-pin connectors on one end, and on the other end you have an interchangeable plug system where you can plug in the supplied 3.5mm stereo jack or the 4.4mm balance jack. You also get the typical branded hard carrying case to carry your in-ear monitors and their accessories in. And of course you get the SimGot ET142 in-ear monitors themselves. Now as for the key specs of the ET142, as mentioned, these are hybrid in-ear monitors, which means it packs two types of drivers inside. So the ET142 packs a single planar magnetic driver paired with a single piezoelectric driver in each of these in-ear monitors. And it has an impedance of 14 ohms. So they are going to be really low impedance in-ear monitors, which means your smartphone can easily power them. However, because these come in a 3.5mm jack or a 4.4mm jack version, your phone, unless it has those ports, it's not going to support them, and you will anyway have to use an adapter or a dongle. So when you're doing that, I think it's best to just get yourself a portable DAC, something like I have here, which is going to make sure that your in-ear monitors perform to their full potential without leaving anything in the tank. And what you get is just the best and highest audio quality possible, and also the highest volume that your in-ear monitors can possibly produce. So the ones that I use will be linked in the description below, so make sure to check it out from there. Now as for the build quality of the ET142, so as you know, SimGot makes no compromise. This is all zinc alloy, so it looks and feels very premium. It's got that heft of metal, which gives you the assurance that it's going to last for years and years to come. Absolutely seamless edges, no jagged point anywhere, very comfortable, also gives you a very snug fit. And even for long listening sessions, I really had no such discomfort or ear fatigue. However, if you're listening to them for over 4 or 5 hours continuously, at that point, I think for any normal human being, it is going to get a little fatiguing. You know, just want to take them off for some time and give your ears a rest, a breather. For the earbuds themselves, they really are comfortable. One thing, mind you, these don't have the smallest profile, so these boys are quite chunky, as you can see. Not the flattest. However, because of that snug fit, you really just put it on and forget that they're there. So in terms of comfort, A-okay. Alright, now let's talk about the main criteria, which is the audio quality. Now the ET142, as mentioned, comes with different tuning nozzles, and these are going to give you different sound signatures in the sense that some of the tuning nozzles are going to accentuate the ultra high frequencies and the high frequencies, basically the treble response, while some are going to cater to the low end or the bass response, so you get the idea. Now I have tried all of these, and finally I have settled on the brass tube, which gives you a very airy treble response, and I've also gone for the stainless short tube with the black ring, which is kind of a balance and gives you a warm sound signature. Alright, so starting with the treble response or the high frequencies, the ET142's treble response was just exquisite. The amount of detail retention, the treble extension, and the layering in the treble frequency range was just so impressive, packed with so much of richness and detail without going overboard. So it packs all the subtle nuances that are there in the track without going overboard and doing a very sloppy job. So it just sounds pristine, it never gets too harsh, and in case you want a bit more sparkle, you can choose the corresponding tuning nozzle that is going to give you that edge when it comes to the higher frequencies, and the instruments like hi-hats and cymbals crashes was so beautifully rendered, sounding so organic. It's such a laid-back and relaxing experience, and it opens up a whole new world of details that otherwise you wouldn't get from your run-of-the-mill cheap in-ear monitors or earbuds. Next up, we have the mid-frequencies where the vocals are. Now, vocals left me equally impressed as I was with the treble response, because both male and female vocals were rendered with such natural tonality and warmth. They sounded neutral while maintaining that organic feel, and it sounded so full-bodied, never sounding hollow or shouty even at really high volumes. But what really takes the cake in the mid-frequency range on the ET142 is the rendition of stringed instruments like guitars. Sounded so powerful, authentic, and had so much of natural flair that it was a joy to listen to each time I played my favorite tracks on these. Every instrument in the mid-frequency were very well spaced out from one another, and there was absolutely no clutter with the vocals. There was no extra emphasis on the upper mids where it tends to sound hollow or shouty. It was full-bodied, maintained that natural tonality, and together it was a perfect confluence of the vocals and instruments and made for a very laid-back, relaxing yet immersive experience. And finally, we get to the low end of the bass response. Now, the bass response on the ET142 is evidently mid-bass heavy, so you get a lot of that mid-bass slam, but it is very tight, fast, responsive, very well textured, and shows no signs of stress regardless of what genre of music you are playing and at what volume. So even at very high volumes, it maintained the same amount of thumpiness, the tightness, the undistorted round bass that you expect from a planar magnetic driver was very easily handled. Now, while it is mid-bass heavy, you also do get plenty of the rumble from the sub-lows, although it is not as pronounced as with many typically V sound signature in-ear monitors that we get in the market, because it is not catered for that. The bass here has a job to complement the track without eating into the mid frequencies or the treble response. It maintains its separate lane beautifully, but it adds that very powerful presence and makes the track wholesome and very immersive. Okay, now let's talk about the soundstage of the ET142. Now, this I think is its biggest weakness, because the soundstage was average. It was not too wide, while every instrument was clearly audible, no issues whatsoever, no clutter anywhere, but the soundstage could have been wider and it would have made it sound more immersive. This doesn't take away even a single fraction of a point when it comes to its quality of the highs, mids, and lows, but when it comes to the overall imaging, that is where it suffered, because it could have been wider and that would have made it more immersive. So just to summarize, the ET142 is a stellar in-ear monitor, and it's for those individuals who really want uncompromised audio quality, who don't want exaggerated treble response, exaggerated bass response like the typical average user, but someone who really appreciates the quality. Yet they also want to have the freedom of having to customize the sound to their taste, and that is the option that the ET142 gives you with its various tuning nozzles. If you want a bit more sparkle in the treble response, you've got a tuning nozzle for that. If you want a bit more nuanced and warm sound signature with a balanced overall, you've got a tuning nozzle for that as well. So it's got you covered in that aspect. But the common theme with the ET142 is its absolute prowess when it comes to the richness of the three frequencies. The highs, mids, and lows sound excellent, and they just overall make for a very mature and laid back yet very detailed rich listening experience, and I really can't recommend it enough. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of the SimGod ET142 hybrid in-ear monitors. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. As always, the link to this and many other in-ear monitors and audio accessories will be given in the description below, and I would really appreciate if you use those links to make your purchase and help support this channel. So thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video, and I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.